The Saiga antelope, scientific name Saiga tatarica, is a distinctive and endangered species known for its bulbous nose, which helps it filter dust and regulate temperature. Its history spans thousands of years, marked by major shifts in population, distribution, and conservation efforts. Early history and evolution. The Saiga antelope is believed to have evolved around 2–3 million years ago. Fossil evidence shows that Saiga once roamed over much of Eurasia during the Pleistocene epoch, in regions of present-day Europe and Central Asia. They were well adapted to the steppe and desert environments of Central Asia, characterized by harsh climates and vast open landscapes. The species' distinctive nose evolved as an adaptation to the dry, dusty environments they inhabited, helping them filter out dust and regulate the air temperature they breathe. Historically widespread. Historically, Saiga populations were widespread across a large swath of Eurasia. They ranged from the steppes of Eastern Europe, including parts of Ukraine, Moldova, and southern Russia, to Central Asia, including Kazakhstan, Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, and parts of Mongolia. They thrived in large herds, forming massive migratory groups. Saiga were an important part of the ecosystem, serving as prey for predators such as wolves and providing grazing pressure on the grasslands. Decline in the 19th and 20th centuries. Overhunting and habitat loss were major drivers of the Saiga's decline. In the 19th century, they were heavily hunted for their meat, hides, and horns, which were valued in traditional medicine. By the early 20th century, populations had started to shrink, particularly as more effective hunting tools and methods became available. Industrialization and agriculture also led to habitat destruction, reducing the areas available for Saiga to graze and migrate. By the mid-1900s, the Saiga population was largely confined to the steppes of Central Asia, with the species being listed as vulnerable by the late 20th century. Modern-day crisis and conservation. The 2000s saw a dramatic population collapse, largely due to a combination of poaching for their horns, which are prized in traditional medicine, and environmental factors. A mass die-off in 2015 highlighted the fragility of the Saiga population. In that year, over 200,000 Saiga antelope in Kazakhstan died in a matter of weeks, likely due to a combination of disease, specifically Pasteurella bacteria, and environmental stresses. Today, the saiga is classified as critically endangered by the International Union for Conservation of Nature, IUCN, with remaining populations found primarily in Kazakhstan, Mongolia, and parts of Uzbekistan and Turkmenistan. Conservation efforts. Several conservation organizations, such as the Saiga Conservation Alliance and WWF, have worked to protect the remaining Saiga populations. These efforts include anti-poaching campaigns, habitat restoration, and the monitoring of health risks. In 2017, the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora, CITES, included stricter controls on the trade of Saiga parts to combat illegal hunting. Conservation efforts have seen some positive results, with small population increases in certain regions. However, the Saiga remains highly vulnerable, and continued efforts are critical for the survival of the species. Current situation and challenges. The current Saiga population is estimated to number around 150,000–200,000 individuals, mostly in Kazakhstan, with some smaller populations in Mongolia and Russia. The primary threats to their survival continue to be poaching, disease outbreaks, and the destruction of their steppe habitat due to farming and industrial development. Climate change is also a growing concern, as it could exacerbate existing pressures on Saiga populations by altering their migratory patterns and affecting the availability of food sources. In summary, the Saiga antelope has a long history of adaptation to harsh environments, but its survival is now threatened by human activities and environmental challenges. While conservation efforts show promise, the species remains critically endangered, and continued efforts are necessary to prevent its extinction.